Hi everybody, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope that you're doing well. It's a really bright sunny day today. I'm just so energized by the lovely weather. Hope that all is well with you. Now I'm having my tea this morning. I've got my chamomile, vanilla and manuka honey. I don't normally drink chamomile during the day, but this has got manuka honey in it and it really is lovely. And I've got it in my beautiful little recycling cup. So I hope you're going to drink coffee, juice, whatever you love, maybe just water. Hydrate yourself in the nice weather. And I'm just ready for a little chat about something that I think is really a fun topic. And is for those people who consider themselves warriors and worriers, or maybe both, or one of each. But anyway, it's a good conversation I want to have with you. But I first of all want to tell you that our sponsor for today's show is Easy Spirit. Now, for 35 years, Easy Spirit has been making comfortable and beautiful shoes for women. They are the original comfort footwear brand. Now, they've innovated their product line and they've come out with a lot of new designs and very beautiful shapes and sizes, stylish and comfortable at the same time. They do believe that comfort should be uncomplicated and that comfort is a universal spirit that women all over the world share. Now, you can check out their products at easyspirit.com. And as I said, they make a range of sizes and different styles. And I'm going to be featuring some of those with you here on 60 and Me in the coming weeks. But I wanted to share that Easy Spirit is a sponsor of 60 and Me. And I encourage you to check out their product line at easyspirit.com. And they believe that because everything is possible when you are comfortable. So thank you to Easy Spirit. Now, the topic for today, this is an article that one of our bloggers, Debbie Hensley, wrote. And I often ask people this question about, are you a worrier or a warrior? I know my English accent probably is not differentiating that very much, but basically, are you the type of person that worries about things? Are you a worrier or do you stand up to them as a warrior? Now, Debbie wrote this article because she has a very unique way of responding to people when they say to her, how are you doing? And she actually says, I have no complaints. Now, when she says that, people literally go, none, no complaints. It's more of just saying, oh, I'm fine, which is our normal way that we respond to that question, how are you doing? But she says, no, I've got no complaints. And people then often have a little conversation about that. So it's a good, refreshing way of saying how you're doing in response to the how are you question. Now, she says that there are some things that a lot of people complain about and that they worry about. But she says most of these are things that can be twisted and turned the other way. So I think this is a really interesting way of looking at our things that we find, that we moan about, that we complain about a bit. First is weather. The complaint about the weather. When it's too hot, it's too cold, it's raining, it's snowing. We just pick that up as a subject that, we talk about and complain about and we worry about it. And for her, this is a perfect example of, an opportunity to switch it round. This is Mother Nature at work. Now, we have had a very hot summer here, and I think probably with you too. I know the world temperatures seem to be rising, and storms and, very bad weather. But this is Mother Nature. Unfortunately, we don't control this one. And the seasons are really glorious to behold. I mean, there's always something beautiful to be seen in the changing seasons. So hopefully that one about the weather is not so easy to complain about. Another thing people complain about are other drivers. Now, I don't drive anymore, which is kind of a refreshing thing. I take public transport. Actually, in itself, that's something to complain about is public transport or drivers. But they're in the wrong lane or they're not using their signals or they're going too slow. But, this is a good opportunity to be patient and to learn to be tolerant. And I always say to myself when people are acting strange on the road, like maybe they're lost and maybe they really don't know where they're going. And that's not to be criticized. I mean, they just are new in your city or in your town. And or maybe they've got an emergency or there's a bee in the car or whatever could have happened. Just have that tolerance and patience. So that's another thing, drivers. Another thing, oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite things to complain or about, to worry about, is being kept on hold on the phone. I don't know why it bothers me, and maybe it's my opportunity to be tolerant too. This is where you are on that call that says, Thank you for holding. Your call is very important to us. Please hold on and the next available person will talk to you. Well, if I was so important, they would have a few more people. But I've waited. I mean, I have waited for, well, not hours. On the IRS, I think I waited an hour once. But, it can be really kind of irrational. You're complaining about that. But, give the business an option to call you back. A lot of people do that now, which I find really helpful. They'll say that we have an option to call you back and just leave your number. I did that twice with my bank, and they call you back immediately. Like they must have it triggered onto, or they must have a queue of people who are doing that. So anyway, hold calls are a nuisance, but an opportunity. Another thing that we complain about a little bit, and we worry about it too, is our aches and pains. These are the things that we all deal with. I mean, everybody, as you get, well, not just older, but as we just do things in our life, we get little backaches or creaks, and we have this, this kind of desire to tell people about our aches and pains. But it's okay. It's all part of this beautiful process of aging. Now, before you reply, I know that there are people out there with real physical issues, mobility issues, and I'm not commenting on that because you've got a real reason. But in conversations when you're complaining about things, it's one of those things that other people find it hard to respond to. So I think complaining about your physical situation is a challenge. But so just do things like walk and do your yoga and stretching exercises. Do something positive, and that's something to talk about. I've started a new thing. I'm doing weights every other day now, or I have I put my weights where I trip over them so that I have to pick them up twice or three times a day. I just use it as a way to talk to people about how you're positively aging. I think that's really important. And the aging process, it isn't a cakewalk, and it's definitely not all positive. But from a complaining point of view, it's one of those things that's probably not very useful. What's the next thing? Oh yes, professionals who don't act professionally. This is really a hard one because there are a lot of professionals ranging from our public servants all the way up through your doctors, nurses, teachers, people that you consider professional. For the most part, they're all doing the best they can, and they've got their own set of challenges. But that is a thing to complain about or not. Now you can write letters. You can vote. If you don't like the things that are going on in your world or in your community, your city, your country, you can vote. You can send letters to people that can influence those decisions. And you've got action. You can take action. So I think that the point Debbie's making here is it's okay to complain and to worry about things to the point where you want to complain about them. But be a warrior. Stand up for what you believe in and complain in the ways that it's going to have an impact and make a difference. So that's important. Okay, here's the one that she mentions, which I had to laugh at, which is, kids these days. You complain about the kids these days. They've got the tattoos and they've got the hair things and they've got they've got their phones stuck to their hands all the time, and they've got headphones on blasting music. I mean, you name it. There's a list of things that you can complain about. But look, remember when you were young? Remember the things that you did? You just do these things. It's part of growing up, and it's different now because the technology is different. The tools and the toys that we can play with are different. And so give it a break. And also don't forget, a lot of people out there did things when they were young that were against the law. And, now things are changing and the rules about, different drugs and so on are being relaxed. But in the days that we were young, that was a little bit more a statement of our growing up. And then the final thing Debbie talks about is the cost of everything. A lot of people like to complain about the cost of food, the cost of gas, the cost of everything, travel, the cost of single supplements on cruises. I mean, I know this is such a tough one because it's so unfair. I totally agree with you. But complaining about it doesn't really help. There are things you can do. You can look back with, reminisce back and when the gas was only $1 a gallon. Yeah, there were all those things that we could look back on and not complain about today. But here we are. We're here. Let's own it. Let's not drain our energy by complaining about things that are that are our reality. it's part of who we are in this time and place. So I think how we engage with the world, how we choose the things that we worry about, the things that we complain about is really important. And it can make all the difference in the way that you see the world and enjoy this time in your life. So just wanted to check in with you on that. And how do you engage with people around you? Do you try to keep focused on the positive? Well, you've made a good step by being here. 60andMe is a positive community. We try very hard to keep the conversation at that level. And please check out our website. Tell a friend about 60andMe. And I hope that you've got anything to complain about here. But if you've got comments and suggestions, they're always, always welcome. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful day. Hope that you do whatever you want today that's special for you. And we look forward to being back here and speaking with you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.